Who do you think is orchestrating all of this?
All of these things are eroding our moral fabric.
What do you think the most effective way to
Gaining control of the schools and the teacher union so you can indoctrinate the kids, gaining control of the media and Hollywood so you change the culture of America.
if we continue down the trajectory of a 1.6 birth rate?
Ignorance is bliss for the left because ignorant people are easy to manipulate.
I guess what I'm saying is I believe it's a generational fight.
Congressman Herlong of Florida read into the congressional record the 45 goals of communism in America.
If we continue down the trajectory of a 1.6 birth rate per family, what is the math on that?
Well, we become irrelevant.
How fast?
Hard to say. But probably pretty quickly. You see how much we've changed as a country just in the last 30 years. Things are going on now that no one would have imagined 30 years ago. And sometimes the country is hardly recognizable anymore. But I don't think that's the way that the majority of Americans want it to be. And one of the things that we've been trying to do is get people to wake up, particularly people of faith. It doesn't have to be that we're denigrating marriage anymore. It doesn't have to be that we're mutilating little children and taking advantage of the fact that they're very suggestible and very curious and doing things to them that will ruin their lives forever. Those things don't have to be. We don't have to have men playing in women's sports. All of these things are eroding our moral fabric. And that's exactly what those who want to fundamentally change us want. If you look at the congressional record from January the 10th, 1963, Congressman Herlong of Florida read into the congressional record the 45 goals of communism in America. And they included all of those things. Gaining control of the schools and the teacher union so you can indoctrinate the kids, gaining control of the media and Hollywood so you change the culture of America, making sexual perversion normal, natural, and healthy, denigrating the role of the family, elevating the role of government. It's all in there. And we need to understand that we're under attack and we have to fight back.
Who do you think is orchestrating all of this?
There have been people who have been opposed to the American way and American values since the very beginning. The Europeans thought that we were crazy. They said, you can't run a nation on the will of the people. You have to have a monarch. You have to have a ruler. But in today's world, we have to contend with the factions that still believe that socialism and communism is a better way of life. That you give control of your life over to others who will guarantee that they will take care of you from the cradle to the grave. Even though it's never worked anywhere else, there are still those who push that and will continue to push it. And they've gained a lot of momentum. You can see how a lot of the college students seem to be taking that as something that is good. And I don't think that they really understand what socialism and communism is. And they don't really understand how good they have it in this country and what the opportunities are in this country for success. But we have to continue to fight that fight and bring people to the point where they actually will look at the data, will look at what has happened historically, will look around them and see who really has their best interest in mind and who is utilizing them. And I think that's a fight that's worth engaging in.
What do you think the most effective way to fight this is?
Education. One of the things that you'll notice that the leftists in this country do is they shield people from information. You'll notice that the mainstream media did a very good job of keeping people away from the knowledge of what was going on. I remember coming back from the airport, and I asked the limo driver what his thoughts were about Hunter Biden's computer, his laptop. He didn't know anything about it because he listens to the wrong news sources. Didn't know. It was a complete shock to hear about that. And a lot of these children that you see on these campuses rallying for Hamas and against Israel, they don't know anything. They're shouting about the river to the sea. They don't know what river. They don't know what sea. They don't know what the whole conflict is all about. They are manipulated because they're ignorant. And ignorance is bliss for the left because ignorant people are easy to manipulate.
What about raising your kids?
What about?
I mean, I don't know. I think that one of the ways that I think it's going to be a long turnaround, if we turn it around. It seems like we're doing, making leaps and bounds right now, but we've seen that pendulum swing
Sure.
really far right and really far left. There doesn't seem to see much balance.
Right.
And so I guess what I'm saying is I believe it's a generational fight. And you have 3 sons. How old are your sons?
41, 39, and 37.
Do they have kids?
They all have children. Yep.
And I feel like that a lot of parents have abandoned their parental responsibilities for social media.
Mm-hmm. That has happened.
They give their kids the phone. The phone raises the kid, keeps them occupied so that the parent can be on the phone. And I mean, to me, it seems, we need to get back to raising your kids, pouring into them, giving them everything you have, teaching them the values, not handing them the phone and
No question about it. And that's the reason that my wife and I wrote our last book, The Perilous Fight, the attack on the American family, combating it.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.